Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and today some more Madden NFL 16. This video is actually being brought to you by EA Ronku, who of course I've done a number of sponsored videos with in the past. If you guys like to go ahead and check out the official EA website for Madden 16, feel free to click the link down there in the video description. It'll take you over there and you can read up on the game itself, but hopefully this video can guide you a little bit in the same direction because I'm going to be trying to give you guys kind of an idea of what my first impressions of Madden 16 are so far and how I'm digging the game. Now unfortunately I haven't had a ton of time to actually play around with this year's Madden as compared to previous years because of the Black Ops 3 beta, right? So this game actually released just before the Black Ops 3 beta. It was like kind of like in that little window of a gap there, and because of that I really haven't had a ton of time to play with the game, but of course I have played with Madden because I've played Madden ever since Madden 04. In fact, I actually played a bit of Madden 03 as well back when Marshall Faulk was on the cover. I actually played that on my friend's GameCube whenever I go over to his house, but like my own console, like my own PlayStation, I was able to actually start playing Madden and start getting them every single year. It was actually Madden 04, so I've played it for over a decade now. I've played Madden every single year, and what we're going to be doing here with this video is just kind of discussing the new changes that they made in Madden 16, what the game is like, and my general impressions so far. I did do a video. If you guys want to check out that video, there's going to be an annotation right here on your screen that you guys can go ahead and click. It'll open up a brand new tab for you if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. That's going to be covering the new passing and catching mechanics that are in Madden 16. I'm going to briefly cover them here in this video. I'm not going to spend too long on them because I do have an entire video dedicated to just that. So let's try and cover that real quick here. The new passing and catching mechanics that they've added to Madden 16. I like this change. Every year Madden has that complaint, you know, every single year, oh, it's the same game every year, except it's just going to be a roster update. You're paying for a roster update, maybe some slightly improved graphics, maybe you'll be getting a few new bells and whistles, but overall it's basically the same game every single year. Well, I think the new passing and catching mechanics actually changed around Madden 16 a lot. Like, you look at the mechanics that you saw in Madden 15 versus Madden 16, it's completely different in terms of the passing mechanics, and if you're a good player, and especially if you're using a very good quarterback, like I use like Johnny Manziel, like I plays the Browns, like I got Johnny Manziel, I got McCown, like I'm not going to be able to do that many great things in the passing game, but still, if you're like a good player and you have a decent quarterback, like you can do some crazy things with the passing here in Madden 16, and especially if you got some really good receivers that can jump up for the ball, or people that have really good catching, or they can catch in traffic. Like, you can really put the ball in a very specific spot where only a receiver can catch it, and it really makes for some really big time catches, some really big time throws, and it's definitely a lot of fun. I really dig the new passing and catching mechanics, and like every single Madden, they have a ton of new animations. Like, there's different throwing mechanics, different catching mechanics, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of that even just here in this video. There's a lot of new stuff. It definitely doesn't look the same, because I do think in the past they kind of like took the same passing and catching mechanics from one game and just kind of transitioned it over to the other. So like, you'll be playing the new Madden game, you're like, wow, I've seen that exact same catch animation, you know, so many times in the previous game. Like, it feels like I'm playing the same game. It really doesn't feel that way so far in Madden 16, because I feel so, in my opinion anyway, a lot of the catches feel very unique compared to Madden 15. I definitely like that a whole lot. One of the new features of Madden 16 is going to be called integrated broadcast graphics, and this is basically a fancy way of saying they want you to become more immersed in Madden 16 as compared to other games, and they definitely took a lot of steps towards that. They basically wanted to stop you from pausing the game and going to look at your stats and taking yourself out of the game, because it doesn't feel the same, right? You don't want to get out of the game to go look at stats. You want to be able to see all that stuff right here from in the game. And so what they're doing with that is, I'm sure you've seen a lot of that throughout this video as well. Like, maybe you'll get a very nice run, like maybe you'll get a 20-yard run, they'll tell you, oh, that's your second 20-yard run in the game, or maybe they'll show you replays, they try to show you from different angles. Like, they basically have cameras everywhere trying to give you tons of new camera angles. They give you a lot of numbers on the field as compared to having to like go ahead and stop and pause the game to go ahead and look at your stats. They give you a lot of stats on the field to try and hopefully make it so you don't want to do that, so you kind of stay more immersed within the game itself, which is obviously a good thing, because I think a lot of us actually get very into football games the more we play it, and if it's a very close game and stuff like that, you don't want to be stopping and pausing or doing anything like that. You just kind of want to see all the information on your screen. So right after a run, it basically tells you like how many carries you have, how many yards you have, how many yards after the contact you have. Like, you see all this information right here on your screen, which is definitely a lot more immersive as compared to previous years. How is the franchise mode? How is the my player mode? So I have dabbled in franchise. I haven't started like my full franchise yet, where I try to set all the rosters perfectly, and I spend forever on free agency, and I go in there and I change everybody's numbers and stuff like that just to make sure it's all perfect. I haven't done like my full proper franchise yet, but I have dabbled in the franchise, and I have dabbled in the my player. So what they basically done with it is it's going to be connected franchises again, similar to what we saw in previous Maddens, where basically they take franchise mode and they take my player mode, they kind of throw them all together, and as you can see right here, you basically start up your franchise, and then from there, you can change your role and do whatever you would like to do. You can choose the team you're going to be playing on. First thing you do is you choose a team that you're going to be working with, and then after that, you can change your role. You can decide to become a player, you can decide to become a coach, you can decide to become an owner, just basically similar to what we had in previous Madden games. You can do all of that. If you decide to become a player, you can choose all different kinds of things. Like you can choose your backstory, like are you a first round pick, are you a late round pick, are you an undrafted guy, and you get different kinds of bonuses and penalties for what you choose. And then of course you go into the my player mode, you can actually play. Now, is the my player mode better? That's one of the big complaints I've always had. I'm never quiet about this. This is one of the big complaints I've always had from Madden, is the my player mode. Is it better than last year? I do feel as though the my player mode is a bit better than last year, but it's still not nearly what it was like back in 2006, like I wanted to be, right? But so basically back then you would be very immersed in your player. The camera was like constantly just zoomed in on your particular guy. Like for example, if you played a wide receiver, the camera angle was like on your wide receiver. Like you were all the way out there. The camera's all the way out there on the edge of the field. You could look back into the field. The quarterback is the one that chose the plays. The quarterback's the one that snapped the ball and stuff like that. But here, they basically took away all of that and kind of made it so you kind of control things. Like even if you're like a different position, like a position that really doesn't have a lot of control, like you're seeing gameplay here. I'm playing a wide receiver. I just made one. I put myself on the Giants. I'm not even a Giants fan. I was like, whatever, Giants, that'll work. And so I made wide receiver, put myself on the Giants just to kind of show you guys this here in the video. I picked the plays, I called the audibles, I send people in motion, I do all of that, you know, but I still only control my player while I'm playing, right? You see there's like a little lock underneath my player. That's because once the play actually happens, I am only in control of myself. So if they run the ball, I can't control the running back. I have to go up there and block people, right? I'm controlling my wide receiver. But you see the camera angle, like there's no way to change the camera angle, like zoom in on your player. It kind of takes you a little bit out of the immersion, but at the same time, I did have some fun, because there is that element of control, which is nice, but you don't have too much control. Like you do pick the plays, which if you want to kind of get around that, just have the coach pick the play and just press A every single time. That way, you don't really get to control what the play is going to be if you would like to do it that way. And after that, you can basically, run the ball, snap the ball. You can call audibles if you feel so there should be an audible. So you do have a little bit of control, but at the end of the day, you don't control everything. If you're playing, for an example, like a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end, because once the play starts, the ball is in the hands of the AI. It's in the hands of the quarterbacks. That's pretty interesting. You can also play on defense, and there are some lot better camera angles if you're actually playing on defense. If you're wondering, like the camera angle actually switches around onto the defensive side, and it's weird because the offense is on the other side of the field as compared to what you're used to seeing in Madden. So that's definitely a little bit off-putting. It's kind of reminiscent of how my player mode used to be back when they first brought it into the game. If you were to play a defensive player, like I used to play a middle linebacker in some of the earlier Madden games when they first gave us my player mode, because I thought middle linebacker was a pretty fun position. Like I liked being a middle linebacker in a 4-3 defense because I was like perfectly in the very center of the field, and it was just easy for me to like kind of do like a strafe left or right, kind of try and predict where the running back's going to try to take the ball, or try to drop back in pass coverage a little bit. I was horrible at man coverage, but I was already at zone coverage. I occasionally had some interceptions, and I was pretty good at stopping the run. It was kind of fun, and you can do that kind of same thing here in Madden 16 with the My Player mode, so that is pretty nice. And of course, with the rest of the franchise, it's pretty much the same as what you've seen in previous Maddens. You do have the ability to become an owner. You can set the different prices and stuff like that, and you can do the stadium relocations and all the stuff that you're used to seeing from owner modes in previous Madden games. Or you can become a coach. You can take control of an already existing player. So for example, maybe you're a fan of Johnny Manziel for the Browns and you want to take control of his career. You can go to the My Player mode and become Johnny Manziel, or you can make your own player, or you can make your own coach, or take control of a different coach, or take control of an existing owner. All the stuff that you can do from previous Madden games, all that stuff is still there in Connected Franchise, which is pretty good. Ultimate Team. One of the biggest things about Madden is the freaking Ultimate Team, man. I just can't get into it. The reason I don't get into Madden Ultimate Team is because I'm a big fan of kind of realism when it comes to Madden, I suppose. I've always been a fan of, I want to play as the Browns. I want to play with the Browns roster. So when they released Phil Taylor yesterday, the first thing I did was I went and removed him from the Browns roster here on Madden 16, because the update, which they do update the game periodically to change the rosters and whatnot, they haven't actually gotten rid of Phil Taylor yet. Actually, Fred Jackson, they didn't remove him from the Bills yet either. I played against the Bills today, and Fred Jackson was still there. But yeah, I go ahead and I do all that stuff, right? And so I like the game to be like realistic. Like I like having the Browns players, I like having the Steelers players, like all the players on the right teams. And Ultimate Team, while I do see the appeal of it, I totally see the appeal of it, it just really isn't for me. But then again, maybe if I were to give it more of a shot, I would like it more. But I've heard good things about this year's Madden Ultimate Team. I've heard it definitely didn't subtract anything from last year's, and if anything, it probably adds some things. But again, I don't know too much about the Ultimate Team. I would definitely recommend checking out someone else's video if you're looking to get more information on Madden 16's Ultimate Team. And there's a new mode called Draft Champions, which is going to be a fantasy football style mode where you play online, you make a team, and you play other people online, and that could definitely be pretty fun. But again, I haven't really had that much time to play around with Madden so far this year because of the Black Ops 3 beta, so I'm yet to actually try out that game mode, but I'm definitely looking forward to trying that. But then again, I've always been, like, I'm not one of those people that's very good online. Like, there are people online at Madden that are amazing, and I always try to play as, like, my own team, so I've always played as the Browns, and I'll tell you, years of playing as the Browns in Madden has made me a very particular style of player in Madden. I don't throw the ball deep. I, in fact, can't throw the ball deep because the Browns never have a quarterback. So my passing offense and my offense in general, as I'm sure you're seeing throughout a lot of this gameplay, is lots of short passes and lots of runs, right? That's basically what I do, and I just try not to mess defense up. Like, that's always been like my play style in Madden. So when I go to try and play people online, they usually pick up on that pretty quickly. Then they go and stop the run. If you stop the run against me, it's kind of over. So I don't usually have a ton of success online, but yeah, I still want to try out the Draft Champions because that definitely seems pretty interesting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude today's Madden NFL 16 video. Those are some of the things I would just like to cover here really quickly for you guys. Again, I haven't had a ton of experience so far with Madden 16, but now that the Black Ops 3 beta is actually over, I'm definitely looking forward to putting a lot more time into this year's Madden and trying it out a little bit more. And of course, making my franchise, maybe making it my player. And I've gotten a lot of people asking, Nero, you should do a Let's Play of Madden over on your Let's Play channel. And I was sitting here thinking, after playing around with the My Player mode a little bit, I think it would be fun to just make a quarterback, because if you're going to have a lot of control in the My Player mode, you might as well just be the quarterback. Make a quarterback, make it so he's got a cool backstory, like he's an undrafted free agent, you know, similar to what would be in real life. Make him the same height as I am, the same weight as I am, trying to make him as much like me, I suppose, as possible, then put me on a team and then immediately starting. And the whole part about that is I like things to be realistic, so I don't want to go to like the New England Patriots and take over Tom Brady or anything like that. So I'd have to pick a team that has like some really subpar quarterbacks that I could like probably realistically go into. Like somebody could, like, not me particularly, but like somebody could realistically take their job from them pretty easily. You know, that kind of idea. So I don't know what team, if I were to do a My Player Let's Play on my Let's Play channel of Madden 16, like do a full season, then maybe multiple seasons depending on how fun it is. Like what team would I go play quarterback for? Like I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to hear you guys' feedback on that. Let me know about that in the comment section below. And would you be interested in watching a Madden 16 My Player Let's Play where basically every episode's a different game? And you know, I think it'd be fun. I think that could be potentially pretty fun. So let me know about that. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a rating. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.